Go ahead.
How's it going, YouTube? This is Chris Roman from Team Limitless, and I'm here to just explain my deck profile, Machina gadgets. I haven't seen a lot of Machina gadget profiles online, especially post-March with new ban lists and everything. So I just want to explain mine. I am a gadget player. I've been playing gadgets for a while, and last format, I've been to a couple of regional events. I didn't make it to top tables or anything, but they did perform really well against the good meta decks at the time. And this is just an adaptation of the deck for this format. So coming down, I guess I just started up. Alright, I'm running, first of all, 3 yellow gadgets, 3 green gadgets, and 3 red gadgets. Now I'm actually running 3 copies of gadgets. If you run across a lot of gadget players, they only run 2 copies of each. But I'm fielding 9 because this format is really heavy on Veilers and Fiendish Chains, which is really a really expensive card right now. So I find that my gadgets are always getting Veiler or Fiendish Chain first turn, or Solemn Warning even, or Judgment. And a gadget deck really relies heavily on this just clockwise search, and without it, it dies. So 3 just gives me an extra gadget in my hand just to push and summon next turn, and it's really consistent. It just speeds the deck up a lot. 3 Gear Frames, that's actually staple in this deck. 3 Fortress, and 1 Force. 3 Veilers, and 2 Maxis. For this format, with the Triforce of decks that are going on right now, the Dino Rabbits, the what else, Windups and Insectors, I don't know, it just calls for 3 Veilers definitely, and Maxis for sure. So I'm trying to main them. I've been checking out the Maxis between main and side, so I'm still not sure if I want to keep them in there, because there are some decks like Stun or even, I don't know, just decks, even gadgets alone, they don't really special summon a lot, so Maxis can be dead at times, and I really want to try to put cards in my deck that just, are consistent with every deck. But I don't know, I just feel that this format with the Triforce of decks going on, you really need these, at least 6, but Maxi is so expensive and people really can't invest in them, so I just got to. 1 Gores, 1 Tragodia, pretty much because of the Maxis in this deck. I normally don't run Tragodia, it doesn't help me out a lot, but a lot of people like it, and the only reason I have it in here is just in case if I drop the Maxi, I can draw into the Trag or the Gores and hopefully stop an OTK that my opponent is trying to do. Traps, I have 1 Warning, 1 Solemn Judgment. I don't really like running 2 Warnings, only because, I don't know, I just feel that it cuts on my life points really quick, so I only run 1 Judgment, and I even don't like Judgment personally, but I mean, it's really a must, I guess. I guess you could say it's God. I mean, what can you say? 2 Bottomless. This is another card that's kind of iffy. I'm kind of swapping out between side and main. I keep it really in my side because gadgets are so weak, and there's a lot that can pretty much run them over. But I mean, like, starting with 1500 and up. So everyone does summon like 1500 monsters, 1500 attack monsters and higher. But with this format, I mean, if you're running against windups, they're not really that strong. If you're running against Insectors, they're not even that strong. You can only really stop Centipedes. So I don't know, I just keep it in there just because I find that it helps me out a lot, but I guess that's just preference. 2 Tarantulas, just great because you can choose when to activate. It's not like Mirror Force, there's really not a lot of battle phase happening this format, because Insectors are just popping the world, windups are just fucking searching, or just destroying your hand completely. I don't know. It's definitely good. You can choose when to activate it, choose what summon to activate it on. 3 Call of the Haunted, really good in this deck, so chainable. All you have to do is get 1 gadget in the grave and set a Call of the Haunted, then you just wait for them to bait out their MST or their heavy, and you just chain, get a gadget, search a gadget to your hand. It really helps, even if they Solemn Warning a gadget first turn, or Veiler a gadget first turn, they destroy it, then you chain, bring it back, you get your search all over again. So it's just great at 3 in this deck. 2 MSTs, I'm only running 2, because again, I feel like the really strong meta decks now don't set a lot of back rows. They're really just summoning monsters like crazy, and even last format with the agents, there was really no back row at all. So I keep it at 2. I don't really like maining heavy because the people who do set heavy back rows usually protect and overextend with their Starlight Road, so it's kind of ridiculous to put heavy in there. And even with Torrential Tribute at 2, this format, just maining an extra heavy is just kind of burn. 1 Monster Reborn, obvious. 1 Forbidden Lance. This as well is kind of iffy, you know. I really don't find people destroying my monsters with like a lot of like speller traps. So I really just use it for like the -800. I mean, gadgets are so weak, and like I said, there's a lot that can run them over. But I mean, giving my opponent's monster a -800 just helps during the damage step. And I mean, I don't know. I am swapping out between this and Chalice, but right now I don't really have Chalice in my side deck even. So I don't know. It's still iffy. 1 My Body is a Shield. I feel this card is needed. This format, at least 1. 2 can get kind of cloggy. But with Torrential at 2, you know, Dark Hole, running Rampant there, and just everything popping, you know, when sectors pop, the world pops. It's gotten me out of a lot of tough situations, so I don't turn my back on this card. I always keep at least 1 in my deck. 1 Dark Hole. There's some people that disagree with this, again, because there's not really a lot of this format with windups ditching your hand. It's just an extra card sitting in your hand. I mean, it's really good post setup though against windups. So let them set up, then you activate this. It's really why I have it, just because I like top decking it and going in after that. 1 Book of Moon, pretty obvious, amazing card. 2 Enemy Controllers. This is actually my choice. This format for my gadgets. I usually always main 2 Smashing Grounds or 3 Smashing Grounds. But this format, I just feel like Enemy Controller is so good because Fiendish Chain, Veiler, I can chain on top of it. The target won't be on the field anymore, and my gadget will still get their effects. You know, take control of one of their monsters and still get my gadget search. So I mean, it's been working out pretty well. And I can also just set it and wait for my opponent to attack, and then swap their monster to defense mode. And gadgets can just overlay next turn into Utopia. It's just a great way to come back. That's the main deck. Now I'm going into the side deck. I have 2 Crows. Pretty much Dark World, Insectors, even windups when they search with Rabbit. It's really good, this format, especially with Call of the Haunted at 3. I can't stress how important this card is, and I even got them ultimate because I love the rarity. 3 Cyber Dragons, again, this format, so good. I mean, again, with windups, I keep on going back to them, but they are one of the top tier decks right now. They have Zen Mighties on the field. They always clog their field with Zen Mighties, and they have a lot of machines, Zen Mains. It's just a great card. You summon it, you just absorb their monster, and you just have a free Chimera Tick on the field. And it's good for stun decks because it jumps over Thunder King, obviously, and Doom Cow. So you can't complain with that. 1 Fossil Dino, just for those random decks that do special summon a lot. Again, windups as well, but I mean, like, a lot of decks special summon. I just have 1 in there. I feel that more than 1 might get a little cloggy. 1 Neospatian Granmo, just because he's amazing, and I do tend to main him as well. He's another card that goes kind of in and out with my side deck, but I always have him in there just because random decks just really, they just pretty much summon these weird monsters. Like, it even gets over, well, I can't really say Logia, but I mean, like, let's say you have a ninja on the field that's protected with Save Zone. You could probably bounce over that. It's a really good card. 2 Deep Prisons, again, just for those random rogue decks. I don't really main it because, again, setting Deep Prisons and waiting for the battle phase to happen isn't really happening this turn. It's either gone by the battle phase or pretty much just popped with something. So I just sat him in for those random TG matchups or just matchups, Gladiator Beast, that I might see running rampant this format. 2 Debunks, great against pretty much a lot of decks now. I mean, Insectors, when they target that Hornet Engrave, gets rid of that. Dark Worlds pretty much gets rid of their whole deck. It really slows them down. All I really do is side 3 of these against Dark Worlds, and Dark Worlds are pretty much dead. But I just shot it down to 2 because I'm also trying to make more room in my side deck. 1 MST and 1 Heavy. Just for those decks that really love to set back rows or heavy back row protection, you know. If I play them first round and I see that they're not really going into any Starlight Road or anything like that, I might just side the Heavy. Or if I'm playing against Sams and I really need to get rid of all those gateways that they summon, you know, I might, you know, need that extra MST. It's just good to have in the extra deck. And 2 Smashing Grounds, again, swapping between the Econs and the Smashings. This format, I just feel like having any type of quick play is better than normal spells, so that's that. And then my extra deck, 3 Utopias, pretty obvious. Gadgets go into them very easily. 1 C39 Ray. I haven't really used the secondary effect to pretty much reduce my opponent's attack. I think that's what it does. But I mean, it's just good because Utopia's material always gets off so quickly because everyone's just attacking him easily. So I mean, it's just a great card to overlay on top of Utopia and keep your Utopia alive, so that his other negative effect doesn't kill you. 2 Chimera attack. Pretty much this is a gadget deck, so I mean, obviously the main weakness that it has is Cyber Dragon. That's actually one of the main sides people use against me. But with Econ in this deck especially, I can just pretty much tribute my gadget upon summon of Cyber Dragon, take Cyber Dragon, wait for my turn, and give it back to them, and then pretty much summon a gadget on my next turn, and then synchro from my own fortress. So I just feel that having 2 is just useful, especially since this deck doesn't really synchro summon a lot. So there is room for that. 1 Mistworm, just in case I have 2 guys in the field and I decide to use a Veilers in my hand, which isn't likely because this format, Veilers just getting dropped so easily. 1 Stardust, that's just in there because I love Stardust, and it's signed by Greg Abbey. I love him too. 1 Thought Ruler Archfiend, again, it's just in there just in case. 1 Black Rose, again, just in case. And for all these cards, I can potentially take one of my opponent's monster with Econ as well. 1 Brionic, just in case I side into my Cyber Dragon to go Cyber Dragon, then effect Veiler, and just a great card, obviously. Especially for gadgets, since you can just dump and do whatever you want. 1 Catastor, I can just summon a gadget, and if I keep it on the field long enough, summon a Veiler, get an easy Catastor, it's great. Same thing with Android. I just have a random armor arm in there, I don't know. Veilers are pretty weak tuners, and let's say I just Econ a level 3, same situation. These are all really just situational, and this is the best one, Formula Synchron. My reasoning was, let's say I call the Haunted a DD Crow and summon a Veiler, and synchro into Formula Synchron, I get a +1, and it's really not killing me because I call the Haunted, I get DD Crow, then I normal summon my Veiler from my hand, so I'm losing Call of the Haunted, I'm losing Effect Veiler, but then I'm gaining Formula Synchron, so that's a +1, and then with my draw, I get a +1, so it keeps me even. It's a -2, then it's a +2. Really doesn't hurt, and I keep Formula Synchron on the field. He's an Excel Synchro monster, so I can just Synchro again during your turn. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I forget this account. What is it, Nick?
Creator 723.
Creator?
Yeah.
This is Creator 273.
723.
723. Check us out and tell your friends to check our videos out. Subscribe. I love you, YouTube.
All right,
Team
thanks, man.
Limitless.
We out.